Welcome to another episode of My Brothers Video Podcast. I am your host, Eric the Fat Check, and I am here with my brothers today. We are so excited to be here with you all. And listen, it is the day after we 1 week away from the election, or at least one. What is it? 1 week or 6 days, gentlemen?
6 days.
6 days from the election. But this past weekend, Joe Biden was projected the winner along with Kamala Harris for the next presidency, number 46. President-elect. So that's going to be our topic today. Before I jump into it, I want to talk to my brothers. But before I do so, I want to say to you, thank you for watching. We really appreciate you. Please subscribe. Listen, we are 34 subscribers away from meeting our 100 goal. And so if you could subscribe, we would truly appreciate it. So next time we do this video, we hoping that you move our numbers up and we say we've achieved our goal. We just need 34 more people. I know that's a 5 up there, but that's me saying 34 more people. In either case, before we get started here into our topic, I want to go ahead and talk to the brothers and do our weekend check-in. Brothers, what is up? How y'all doing? Let me start with Herbert the Baller. What's going on, baby? How was your weekend?
I actually had a good weekend. It was a little under the weather. I'm feeling much better. Had a game in my league yesterday. Got that W, So I actually had a good weekend. Had me some crab legs, relaxing in this good weather we've been having on the Philly side. So,
You look like y'all have some tremendous weather over there, bro. So real quick, I got to always ask you, so you had a game. One, where'd y'all play? Who'd y'all play? And how much did you score?
Actually, this league is with guys that have been in the Philadelphia Public League, and it's a 48 and over league. So
48 and what? Older league. Did you put two words together? Elderly, older?
And over.
Over league. Oh, I thought he said older league, like no, OLDERLY.
48 and over.
Okay, got it.
So these are guys that's been in the Philadelphia pub. So, and all those guys that we get together sometimes and have league play.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So how many points you score?
Well, actually, that's something I don't do. But one of the guys called me today, which I didn't know. He said, Barry, you hit 6 3-pointers in a row. And I said, I don't pay attention sometimes. I take what the defense gives me, but we came out on top, and I actually I was feeling good. So, again, I didn't know I hit 6 3-pointers.
So you telling me you had 18 points?
Well, I actually had more than 18 points because I did a little work in the paint, too.
Well, get to the point. I ain't asking how many 3-pointers you shot. I said, how many points did you have?
Well, see, that's the thing you need to know. When you are a scorer, if you win, you win. You lose, you lose. You don't go to the book unless you 16 and 17-year-olds, see how many points you got, how many rebounds you got.
Well, listen, as part of our podcast, it is your responsibility. If you're going to mention you played a game, you're going to need to come in and say how many points you scored.
All right. Well, next time
Cool. Deal. All right. There you go. But you're feeling better, though. You're not sick any longer.
No, I feel much better.
All right. Hey, Big Doc, how you doing, brother? Did San Fran win this morning? Not this morning, this weekend?
No, I'm good. I have no complaints. We didn't win. We took an L. We got a butt kick real bad, man. So I ain't making no excuses on the squad. Everybody know how the squad is. I had a good weekend. I'm alive. I'm talking to my brothers. That's all that matters to me.
Were you doing anything special this weekend, man?
No.
Nah, just chill. Huh? Hey, if y'all know, Big Doc is about relaxation. And I'm feeling you with that, though. It's all about chilling. Believe me. I was trying to take a nap before the podcast. Shit. All right. Also, what's up, baby?
Yo, what's going on? Also, right here, had a good weekend. Friday, just did some work down in the family room. Saturday, my son came over. We busted up, had some cheesesteaks. Did that. Sunday, I'm just going to say this right here. Pictures worth 1,000. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say about that. you know, we had to do some laundry too, man. You know, we can't really do any laundry down in at the house because, you know, we're still getting some things together. So we had to go to the laundromat. I felt like I was in Wakanda, you know.
Oh, wow.
There.
Wait, what's that? What's that mean? You felt like you was in Wakanda?
I'm just saying, you know, it was, you know, it was different, you know, a lot of people there of different ethnicities and backgrounds, you know what I mean? So, you know, between Wakanda and Zamunda, that's where I felt like we were doing our laundry at. So hopefully once we get everything together, we do everything in the comforts of our home. But, you know, and then Sunday night,
right?
My next door neighbor just happens to be an Arizona Cardinals fan, and he happened to invite me over for the game. And I think we all know how the results of that turned out.
So wait, what are you saying? I don't know how the results turned out. I don't have a TV. So what happened?
Miami Dolphins 34, Arizona Cardinals 31.
Oh, okay. I thought you was trying to talk about the Eagles.
Dan Marino is retired. Thank you, preacher.
Hey, listen, real quick though. Let's stay on this topic. So how what's Dolphins record right now?
5-3.
Good for you, bro. I'm excited for you, man, because it's been a long time since you've been happy. Oh,
wow.
I'm sorry. I had to do it. My bad. Really? I know, really. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm super excited for you, my brother. I'm super excited for you. You're still working on the basement, everything coming along, and you moving forward, right?
Well, we don't call it the basement. We call it the family room.
Hey.
It went from the basement to the man cave to the family room.
Word.
That's how it's progressed.
I spent many a night down there, so I hear you. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Make sure you get that thing nice and comfortable, because you know.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Donald, how's your weekend, baby? What's going on?
What's up, fellas? What's going on? My weekend was fantastic. Right, the last time Carl was truly happy is when they drafted this boy, like in 1985. So that's the last time he was happy. So it's been 35 years, bro, and that's apropos, right? Because y'all 5-3. You reverse them. That's 35 years. That's the last time you was happy. So with
you
that
figured that out
said,
you went to public school.
With that being said, everything is everything. Hey, what place you in your division? You in first place with that 5-3 record?
I'm in second place, bro.
Oh, okay. We 3-4-1 and in first place all by ourselves. Oh, so God is good.
I guess you play to the level of your competition.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. First place is first place. You play who's on your schedule. But anyway, my weekend was fantastic. So thanks for asking.
Good, bro. You doing anything special aside from?
Nah, man. It's COVID. I do nothing special. I go home. I go to work. I go to church. I go to the tech gym. That's it.
Word. No, I hear you, bro. Listen, so my weekend was good. It actually rained. We had a lot of rain. We are starting to get a cool down here in California. So literally, I mean, it's probably ain't saying much for y'all in Philly, right? But here in California, it dropped down. Today, it's going to be a high of 60, but a low of 39. But our averages now, they're starting to drop. You know, we've been up in like the 85, 90s, 100s. And so now we're kicking in. And this is like my first year, or at least my second year during this time. But I was trying to find out when does it really break and start getting cooler. I'm excited it's cooler, quite frankly. But the other thing is yesterday I watched a movie. I'm not sure if y'all ain't seen this movie, man, called Antebellum.
Yo, I want to check that joint out. I heard that joint is crazy.
What is her name? She's a singer. She's a singer. What is her name? Do you? I just watched the damn movie last night.
Is it Jay Monet or whatever?
Yes. That Monet, whatever her name is. Monet. Right? I completely forgot. But yo, if you seen Get Out, you got to check this movie out. I'm telling you, it's an hour and a half, but it's trippy, bro. It's trippy, and I'm gonna tell you right now. It really made me think like, damn, are there people out there like that? Like there could be people out there like that. I'm not trying to give away the movie. Watch it. It was like $5.99 a rent. I promise you, go rent the damn movie. You will enjoy it. Yeah,
you
bro.
Gotta get you a fire stick, bro. I don't know what you talk about.
Fire stick. Man, I got a fire stick, man. That's listen, that damn fire stick, I ain't got the patience or the time for a fire stick. I want to point, click, and go. 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Fire stick.
With all this excuse me. With all this technology that you surround yourself with, that's your issue. You want to push, click, go.
I want
about your internet.
I want expediency.
My brother.
Listen.
All right. Never mind. Well, next time you come to Philly, right? Yeah. Next time you come to Philly, okay. I want you to slide through my crib. Okay. I'll show you what a real Fire Sticker do. Right, one-time purchase of $40. All this $5.99 for a movie, $19.99 for me. I lost your damn mind.
I have a Fire Stick, bro, and someone programmed it, but the damn thing, you got to do all of this and all of.
Well, maybe the people that you listen. I can't tell you. You guys, somebody. I'm not going to do what Trump would normally do, and mock the person that programmed your Fire Stick. I'm not. Okay. I wanted to. It was all in me to do it, but I'm not going to. I'll show you. That's all I'm going to say. I was about to get into this whole thing, but it's not.
I appreciate it. You'll have to show me, and then I'll put it in the guest room for guests to be able to use. Matter of fact, I hadn't thought about that, but that's what I'm gonna do for one of the TVs up here. Anyways, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. So listen, everybody, we are about to jump into this. We're here today. Our episode is titled Biden Projected Winner, What's Next, right? And so now that Biden has been projected winner of this 46th presidency, what is next? And so I want to talk to the brothers about that because of course, Trump is, first of all, Trump's out there putting, lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And listen, God bless my Philly people. Y'all came through, baby, in huge amounts. Thank you so much. I knew it. My cousin was like, he was so thankful. He's from Maryland. He was like, look, Philly going to pull through. And sure enough, y'all turned it around. But with that, Trump is putting out, all these false allegations, of course, a lot of hyperbole. And here's the reality. We moving forward, right? January 20th, he's getting sworn in. That's that. My question to you all, and this is not about Trump. My question, let's talk about Biden and his plans and what he's hoping to do moving forward. Donald, I know you mentioned to me that you have a list of some of the things that he documented. And so the intent here is really to talk about, like, what are some of the things that he mentioned he's going to do in his presidency? And I want to talk about them, just a few of them, and then really talk about, do we think it's going to be feasible and possible, specifically if the Senate has control, right? Because we know that when Obama was in office, I believe it was the second year, the Senate took control. So the Senate wasn't in control the first year. I think he had both the House and the Senate his first 4 years. Is that right? And so he really didn't push a lot. Yeah. He was trying to be bipartisan, right? But then, and then that didn't work. But when the Senate kicked in, we got Mitch the devil. And I'm going to keep calling him Mitch the devil because that's what he looks like to me. And when he's talking, he was blocking everything. And so if, in fact, Biden, if the Senate has control, then do we think that Biden is going to be able to really accomplish his goals in getting people through? So I don't, Donald, do you have some of the topics there? Just maybe.
Yeah. So his first, one of the first things that this is coming directly from nationalpublicradio.org. Day one, he says he wants to assemble a corona task force during his presidential transition, which he's in the process of doing, which is the guy who Donald Trump fired, one of the top scientists, the doctors that was on the coronavirus task force that Trump fired. He's actually going to bring him in. For some reason, I can't seem to get his name right at the moment, but they're going to bring him in to be part of the team. Mm-hmm. So then the next thing he says in this 100 days is going to push legislation for immediate corona legislation, basically trying to get the money out to the people who need it.
So did Biden today? I thought I heard on the radio that today Biden was announcing today who the task force would be. Did that occur?
That is correct. That was the plan. I do believe that he said I thought they said it was going to be a 12-member team.
13.
13, because it was originally 12, so now 13. So yeah, that was something that he executed today.
Okay, but he didn't call out who they would be specifically. He just said
he actually did. I'm trying to find that list now. Don,
yeah,
if you find it, but I mean, he did. I'm trying to find it now. So if you can find it before me, he did list several doctors Again, that list he did list those people, and I read it earlier today.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it now.
Okay, no worries. And so you mentioned additionally, if you maybe could look that up, B, that'd be awesome. But Donald, you also mentioned that he was trying to be allocating dollars. Is that right?
Yes, that's the legislation that he's talking about, pushing the both houses to come together with some type of financial package, to help the people that's in need.
So I recall him additionally mentioning something about creating 100,000 jobs through Job Corps by getting people to work through Job Corps with businesses throughout various cities to do contact tracing. Had you heard about that?
Well, again, the only thing that they say in his package is that he was going to expand the Defense Production Act, and that he was trying to put a package together to help folks with the student loans. But I didn't hear anything about what you're talking about. I don't imagine that's going to happen in the first 100 days. But contact tracing is definitely something that he says that we needed to address. But once again, it's going to come back to what you stated earlier. If we do not have control of the Senate, all of his intentions will go for naught because they're going to block him at every turn.
Interesting. Yeah. Also,
I got a question about that. I want to throw it back to the preacher. He probably knows better than I do. But correct me if I'm wrong, but can his first 100 days, whatever he pushes, does he need Congress at that point in his first 100 days?
No, he's going to kind of do what Trump did with the executive orders. But again, an executive order is not into law. So he can push things through executive order. Yes.
So in addition to that, he was talking about doing I think something like the Production War Act, getting companies to actually create and produce
defense
masks,
production.
Right?
Yes.
Defense production, is that what it is? And so I think that might go a long way. But do you think the Republicans might try to stop that through any type of process, or you think that's going to happen with no issue?
They shouldn't.
So you think that it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever then?
No, not when it comes to PPE and getting masks. No, I don't think they're going to block that, because what they won't try to do is commit political suicide. And if we continue to rock the vote in the odd election years, like, if we vote like the way we're supposed to vote, then they will be a little hesitant in trying to be an obstructionist the way they were for President Obama.
Wait, so you don't think they will be? You don't think they will?
No, I don't. There's certain things they won't try to block when it comes to now. If he tries to mandate mandatory mask wearing across the country, that's a whole different topic. But as far as enforcing or implementing the Defense Production Act in order to get things done and moving, the Congress and the Senate, they won't block that.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Because that's what Trump was already doing. He had already enacted the Defense Production Act to get the ventilators. Remember, he did the ventilators, and so it's been enacted. So I don't see them. I mean, there would be no legitimate reason.
But you do think they might try and block, making a mandate across all states to wear masks, right?
Definitely, yes.
Definitely. So, given that, let's just talk about that a little bit. Do you think that can he mandate it though across the country? Can at a federal level, yes? Or I mean, is that state?
He would, in my opinion, he would have to make it a public health crisis. Because people are going to buck up against it regardless. And then you have to talk about what are the consequences if you don't wear them.
What are repercussions?
Yeah, hey, not to make light of it, but did y'all see Saturday Night Live with Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
And he talked about masks?
Yes.
Listen, he said something to the effect. I don't have word for word. I should have pulled it up and put it on screen and showed you all. But he was like, "Look, if they can go out and wear the damn KKK mask, then why not wear a mask at Walmart, right?"
That was a fantastic point.
It was like hilarious what he said. That my man is he's on point every time. That's why he's one of the best comedians ever for sure.
Top 5.
Yeah, your top 5. So Biden also talked about funding for small businesses, like a credit initiative. He said that he's talking about double funding for state small business credit initiatives. So the Obama-Biden administration created a small business credit initiative to support small businesses, driving 10 million. Biden will extend that through 2025. I have a small business that I run, not super profitable right now. Eventually, one day it will be, I promise you. But I don't know. I think that might be, very, very beneficial for small businesses, depending on how they really allocate the funds and give individuals an opportunity to apply for them equally across the board. And it says specifically this. It says driving close to $30 billion of private sector investments to small businesses, all told, especially those owned by women and people of color. So I'm curious. I'd be curious to find out how they're going to really balance that out, right? It's almost like hiring a diverse workforce. People want more diversity in their workforce. It's very difficult to track the numbers, right? I'm curious how they're going to go about, really managing that piece. What else did Biden list on his plan, Donald? Do you?
Yes, he wanted to not only attack those things, but he also wanted to reverse all of President Trump's tax cuts. His plan is to reverse the entirety. He says Biden has pledged on his first day as president he will raise corporate income taxes to 28%, compared with the current 21% rate set by the GOP and the tax cuts in 2017. Also, he promises that Biden's larger proposal tax plan, which stresses that any American making less than $400,000 would not pay more in taxes. So that's one of the other things that he said he was going to do immediately. Day one is to reverse Donald Trump's corporate tax cut.
So they say that Donald Trump basically erased, I was listening to the radio, like 10 years of forward progress. Everything basically Obama had implemented, Donald Trump was to go out and like erase, right? That was his goal. Given how separated the country is right now, do we all think, like, I'm curious to hear your opinions on, like, do you think Biden can pull us together as a country?
Not in 4 years.
Why is that, B?
Well, you got to think Biden and Vice President Harris unifying the country. You got to say, all right, we got to give people money, because at some point in time there's going to be a desperate need of economics as far as being financially okay. I ain't saying well off. I'm saying okay. Mm-hmm. Because right now people are like this as far as money. And
wait, what's this mean? I'm sorry.
Meaning I'm just barely above water.
Okay.
So there's going to be a time when to actually reaching out to those 70 million people that voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. Some of them clearly misinformed, not enough information, true information, not lies, consistent lies. So it's going to be that hill to climb, to get people to see, like everybody gave Trump a chance. You got to give Biden a chance. Mm-hmm. Let Kamala and I show you what we're going to do for the American people, not the red, not the blue, but the American people.
Right.
So again, it's going to take some, because those 70 million have been set in ways for years, because all they heard was politicians. So they got a businessman to come in and made it worse. Mm. So now we're back to a politician. Now, are these politicians different? Are they going to be true to a sense? Are we going to hear smoke screens, see the smoke screens or whatever. So there's going to be a time of sit back and watch, analyzing, listening. Oh, Trump would have did much better than that. You know, so there's going to be a time. It's going to me personally, it's going to take more than one term. You know, and hopefully he wins a second term, and then we get somebody to actually piggyback off what he already started. Not saying it's going to be Vice President Harris. If it's another person to have that continuously going forward, you know. So again, my opinion is going to take more than one term.
Donald?
Well, he has more faith in the American people. No one gave President Trump an opportunity. No one gave him a chance. No Democrat. The moment he won, we became divided. And the fact that Donald Trump got 70 million people to vote for him is just further evidence of how divided we are. With that being said, Joe Biden will be lucky if he makes 4 years. He'll be 78 when he takes office. You're talking about in 4 years, he's going to be 82 years old. There's no way he's running again. There's no way we're going to have an 86-year-old president. There's no way. There's no way. So to me, this platform of having Kamala Harris, this is setting her up for a 2024 run. My personal opinion, as far as that goes. And I don't believe, as far as B was saying, sitting back and waiting, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit back and wait, because I personally don't believe that any of the things that he talked about in his first 100 days is he's going to be able to accomplish. My personal opinion.
And why do you think that's the case, that he's not going to be able to accomplish it?
Because Joe Biden, and like he said, is a politician. And everything that he said, he said what he needed to say in order to get the people to vote. People came out and vote. And y'all gonna be very disappointed.
But why do you think he's not going to be able to do it? I know he said what he said, but why do you think he's not going to be able to do it?
Because no president has been able to accomplish the things that he's trying to get accomplished. Because the party itself is too far left, and you're going to need Republicans to enact the things that he wants to enact. The first 100 days might be good because he's doing all these executive orders, but we're talking about long-term change. It's going to affect not me and you, because I'm not in school, but it's going to affect my kids. It's going to affect my daughter. And if I have grandkids, it's going to affect your grandkids.
So
if he lifetime effects that he's talking about.
If he controls if he gets both the House and Senate, though, he could.
Oh, now if he gets the House and Senate, ball game over.
Got it. So you're talking in terms of him not getting
That's why
the Senate,
I said this
right?
is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
This is all hypothetical, because they're going to be, you know how they obstructed President Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, for 10 months, he tried to get a Supreme Court justice in his last term, and the Republicans obstructed this. But yet Donald Trump was able to get a Supreme Court justice in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he was a lame duck president.
Yeah. Yeah. And so can you define lame duck for everybody who does not know Donald, please?
Yes. Lame duck president, meaning there was no guarantee that he was going to win. He was finishing out the last year of his term, really the last 3 months of his term. So anytime you're on that short lease, they call it lame duck. Now that's I can give you the Google definition of that, but y'all can look that up yourself.
No, just wanted to inform the crowd. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Doc, what are your thoughts, man? Do you think Biden is going to achieve, is he going to be able to pull people together or what? I mean, what is your perspective on this?
If he gets the support that he's supposed to get the support, I think he might do a good job. But I'm following my brothers here as far as you just have to wait and see what he's going to be able to accomplish. If them first 100 days, if he goes through with those first 100 days and he gets that, like you say, he gets that Senate, he might pull it off.
So talk about also, I'll be to you in a minute though. But let's talk about the executive order piece, right? If he's pushing executive orders, how long can one continue to push executive orders through? Because executive orders can be pushed, but then ultimately changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, so he could in theory accomplish everything he really wants to accomplish by pushing an executive order, right? But then he would really separate us, right? Yeah. Right. I mean, that would be the issue, right? Also, your theory, like, what do you believe is going to happen with? Can he bring us together and accomplish his goals?
I'm gonna be a little optimistic. outside of other brothers. I actually believe because Biden is from the old guard and has dealt with bipartisanship in the past and has worked with Republicans and Republicans have worked with him. I think he'll be able to push some things. I think he'll have the ear. Okay, I'm not saying he's going to be able to push everything in, but again, we got to remember age could be, could benefit him because of his experience. You know what I mean? So like I said before, I think the bipartisanship in the ear of Mitch McConnell on the floor, I think he'll be able to possibly be able to get some things moved. So that's just my opinion.
No. Hey, everybody has a perspective, right? I think, and your perspective should be heard. Let me say this, right? Can Biden possibly pull the country together? I don't know, quite honestly. We are quite divided. As the baller said, 70, I think you said it, baller, 70 million people voted, or Donald, but 70 million people voted for this man, and we are voted for Trump. And so we are a very divided country. To Old Soul's point, I don't know if, the fact that he has age, you're right, he has some tenure, right? And he has relationships with individuals, but unless he goes more center, to the right, do I believe will if the Senate controls the House, will they be able to pass some things, right? And so I think we're getting back to maybe pre-Obama times where, most things that were presented were kind of more towards the center. And, once Obama got in, he was moving a little more towards the left to try to, deal with some of the crisis and issues we're dealing with. But, the Republicans didn't want a black man in in the office, period, right? So they were trying to stop everything possible. And so when Trump got in, they passed everything in the world to put us where we are today, right? And so can Biden pull us together? I don't know. I think we're so divided. It's going to take a miracle for him to do so. And the only thing I do know is that we need to go out and hold him accountable to the things he says he's going to push, because we need to we got him in office. So now we need to hold him accountable, but we need to hold him accountable to a point. And what do I mean by that? If we win the Senate, he should be doing everything and accomplishing everything he said in his plan. But if we don't win the Senate, then we have to be aware that it's going to be very difficult, and be cognizant that, when the Senate blocks things, like the Senate has hundreds of bills sitting on their desk that Mitch just did not pass, right? That the Democrats have pushed. And so we need to be cognizant that the president can't do everything unless he has both the House and the Senate. And that's where it's important for us to get out and vote to really get the Senate. And that would be what, midterm elections in 2022?
Midterms.
2022, is it?
Do you mind if I make another point?
Yeah, go ahead, Donald.
So I know my brother Old Soul used the word optimist. All right. So let's talk about that for a minute. We're talking about bringing America together. Yes. And he said he's optimistic because he's part of the old guard. The Republicans call it the swamp. And the reason why Trump was so successful in the eyes of the Republican Party was because he was not part of that old guard, and he was able to get a few things pushed through. So let's just talk about that for a minute. I'm gonna say it one more time. Almost 70 million people voted for Donald Trump. They voted knowingly that he's a racist. They voted knowingly that he mocked handicapped people. Knowingly, everything. They know that he lied over 30,000 times. He lied. The New York Post, he lied. The Washington Post, the New York Post, check it out for yourself. He lied over 30,000 times in his 3.5 years in office. And they still, in spite of all of that, they voted for him. So you now expect me to believe that the 70 million people who don't believe that Joe Biden is legitimate It's because Donald Trump is not going to go away.
No.
If Donald Trump had came and said, listen, it's a fair, square election, Joe Biden won, I need all of you guys to support him because after all, we all are Americans. But we know that cocksucker's not going to do that. So I have zero faith that those 70 million people is going to get on board with anything that Biden has to offer. And we can pray about it. You can fast about it. You can go to the Lord on your knees in prayer. It's not going to matter.
So I guess I'll I'm not as optimistic as Old Soul, but I do have hope. I think with some education, and you're correct, Donald, 70 plus million people voted for Donald Trump. I think with a little education, that people will start to maybe be a little more flexible in their thought process. The challenge is how do we remove Donald Trump completely from the picture? Because there's rumors that he might even try to run in 2024, is my understanding. And with 70,000 plus votes, that's scary, right? Because he's done nothing, and I say it over and over each podcast, push lies. He's done nothing but push lies, and people believe him. So what's next, right? Like, I think I want to talk about Georgia. Georgia, I think, is really what's next for us that Biden's in office, right? They're doing a runoff election. If we can, this is very, very, very difficult. I sound like Trump, right? Very, very, very difficult, right? But if we can win both of those seats, I believe we would tie. Is that right? Do you?
Yes, and then Kamala Harris would be the tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker, right?
51 is controlling.
So what is his name? Tillis. Tillis he won, and he quote unquote won during this election, but it ended up pushing to a runoff because it was super close. And then Warnock, the preacher Warnock, also won, but they're going to have a runoff as well. My fear is that not everybody's going to turn out like they did during this big election, because a lot of people only typically turn out during presidential elections at these numbers. I mean, what are your thoughts on this in Georgia?
My sister lives in Georgia, and during the whole process, she couldn't believe the fact she lived in Georgia for about, I'd say, close to 20, 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. So she said it's always been a red state. So for Biden to get the votes that he got, first of all, was shocking. Mm-hmm. But I truly believe the fact of the reason why it turned into blue, because there were a lot of people that were Trump supporters in that area. Mm-hmm. And there were things that, of course, and the elephant in the room is COVID, and it affected them. It affected them big time. So I think eventually, again, trying to be the eternal optimist here, I hope it does go that way and people do come out for the midterms and realize it is important in order for Biden to have that support.
Baller?
Well, as far as Georgia's concerned, just like the old soldier said, what his people were saying is like, it's been a republic state, and Biden and Harris were able to flip it, and again, to me, once Biden initiates, if he initiates some of these orders, some of the things that the preacher was saying that he's going to do in his first 100, if he initiates that, to me, that's a sense of, all right, things were going to turn. Now if we go into 2 years of him being in office, and now there's, another election for certain senators and representatives, then I think those will flip. It may not flip right now, mm-hmm. but if he's showing initiative, this is what I'm trying to do, and I got this wall from the House with the Republicans, hopefully that'll make voters to come out. You know, and I understand we all agree that, you know, majority of the time we get the bulk of people that can vote, that will vote, is when those presidential elections come out. You know what I'm saying? But all people have to understand, it starts at the ground level. It starts at those city officials, those state officials, you know, and it moves up that ladder that way. So if we get an initiative from Biden and Harris, and let's say we don't gain that House, if he shows initiative, then those people, those states, those senators and representatives, gonna be looking for some hell to pay when it's time for them, that re-election to come up for them.
And you're referring to getting the Senate, right? Not the House.
Exactly.
But the Senate. Yeah. Okay. So Donald, what do you like? Do you think we're gonna pull out the numbers to get Georgia, the governors?
So let's be again. The way I think he won the election, it wasn't that Biden, he being Biden. The way that I think Biden won Georgia, it wasn't that he did something miraculous where he went in there and he turned people's mindset. I think what happened is that Republicans and independents, based on some pre-data research, went into that polling booth and pushed Biden, but then went down ticket on the Republican side for the House and the Senate. So with that being said, if I had to predict, I don't believe that the Democrats are going to be able to pull that off.
Do you think it will be so? I hear you. You said they split ticketed, basically. I agree with you. I think a lot of people were fed up with Trump and split ticket. Right? They ended up going with Biden, but stayed on the other side. Right?
But they wanted to make sure they were in control.
Yeah. So interesting. I don't know whether or not we can pull it off. Right? Historically, if it's not a presidential election, not a lot of people turn out. Right? And the reality is that this runoff race in Georgia for us as Democrats is just as important as the presidential election, right? Like in reality, but we're very limited in what we could do because we're not from Georgia and we're not in Georgia. So it's really up to the Georgians to pull us through and get those governors, get those senates, those last two Senate seats for us. I think it's going to split. I think Warnock will get it and Tillis will get it. That's what I believe is going to happen. But then that puts it at what's that? 49? They're 48. No, it's 48.
48 right now. I thought
48.
Yeah, that's what I saw earlier. 48.
So it'd be 49.
49. And so even then, Kamala would still have last vote, right?
Yeah,
correct.
So that's a plus for us. But have they called Alaska on the Senate race?
I'm checking now.
I don't think they did. The last numbers I looked, I thought it was 47-47.
I'm checking.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember specifically. But to that point, it's going to really take all the Georgians out there to really make this happen, right? They need to get out in full force and vote just like they did for the presidential election, right? And, I know it's very difficult to do, stand in line. I don't know if they're doing mail-in votes for this as well. I don't know what the guidelines are. I assume they are, but guess, Donald.
It is 48-48.
It is 48-48. Is that accounting for everyone, all the different states, with the exception of Georgia?
That's right now. I'm focusing on it's 48-48. I'm looking now to see if they called Alaska. Hold on. No, that's everyone. I'm sorry.
That is everyone.
That is Alaska is still in the pink, meaning it's undecided.
It's not decided yet. So I'm curious. I'm curious though if they've decided the governor races, although it's in pink, because sometimes the Senate races. I'm sorry. Sometimes they call it the Senate race prior to actually calling the actual.
No, because North Carolina is at issue as well. North Carolina and the Senate race. It was North Carolina and Alaska.
Are you looking at Associated Press?
No, I have to go at foxnews.com because
Yep,
they have to tell the truth. They have to tell the truth. Very rarely do they tell the truth, but in this they have no choice.
they got to tell the truth, huh?
They have to tell the truth, right?
So I need to look at the numbers, but it'd be nice to. So Stacey Abrams believes that we can win, the seats,
Right.
but at the same
Big
time,
shout out to Stacey Abrams, though.
Yeah. She's amazing. I wish she had the opportunity. I wish she was running during this election because she would have won, I think, quite honestly. But with that though,
who's the Stacey Abrams lady?
What's that?
Who is the Stacey Abrams? Who is she?
So she was running out of Georgia for the governor role out of Georgia. And I forget who she was going up against at the time, but he basically, he minimized how certain votes would come in. And basically, I would call it gerrymandering, but he minimized how certain votes would be counted and come in, and she ended up losing the race. So she's been a big talk of the town. They were even talking about her running for, being vice president. Some thought that she could potentially be a great vice president. So I think there's definitely an opportunity for her to do some very big things in the future moving forward. But it was just unfortunate that she could not be running for a governor's seat along with the other 11 governors that were going for their seats at the time. Because if so, she probably would for sure be pulling that thing out. That's just unfortunate. Yes, Donald.
She lost that vote to Kemp.
To Kemp. Is that okay? Yeah. What was his first name? Does it say?
Yeah, Brian Kemp. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's another one that should be going. But listen, I think that Georgia. So it's up to the Georgians to pull it out for us. But my question is how can we push support to Georgia? Right? Like financially?
Well, financially, sure, but we had like
how about communication? Just communication all itself.
Right.
Yeah.
The old soul would have to reach out. I got family in Georgia, different parts of the city, different parts of the state. We got to reach out, and they have to beat the drum that how we said this election we had to vote as if our life depended on it.
Yeah.
We sure enough did, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We sure enough did. Mm-hmm. So they got that same messaging. Okay, that same messaging has to go forward in Georgia. They have to be continually on that vote, because here's the thing, right? The 70-something million people, they're not watching our podcast.
Not at all.
They're not watching another network. They're watching the other network.
Yeah, y'all need to be checking us out.
You know what I'm saying? No, but we don't have nobody in our group that look like them, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna add one. I got somebody. I'm gonna bring in some. No,
we got one right there. You right there.
Oh, he talking about Baller. He talking about the Baller. He talking about you, Baller.
He right there.
Talking about you.
B.
So yeah. So Baller, what do you think we can do to really push out and help Georgia?
Actually, to be honest with you, social media has always been the thing to go lately in the past few years. So it's actually, we're doing our part now as far as our podcast and putting it out there and asking people to subscribe, but it's almost, we have to put out somewhere, where it look like I'm bludgeoning the doc for somebody to take a look at us, and to say, listen, this guy right here was in Georgia.
Right.
So he's asked you to save his life and vote and do what you need to do. But again, it's like you have to, it's bottom line, it's almost like social media. To be personally do something, that's the almost only thing we can do is push something on that would link up to people in Georgia.
So interesting. This literally did not pop into my mind until just now. We were talking about communication, but I think what we could do from our video perspective, fellas, is, so I could donate money to a cause, right? I could donate money to a cause, but maybe we could put together a small video as to why people in Georgia should get out to vote, and then I can post it on Facebook and then boost it boosted to a special target, right? A target of Georgia, right? So I can go to a certain location for everybody who has Facebook and maybe push out, get out the vote, right? Because I think if we, to that point, I think that we definitely need to do messaging, right? Doc and Donald said messaging is important, and I agree that messaging is important because aside from being there knocking on doors in Georgia ourselves, I'm in California. Very difficult for me to get out there, especially during the COVID times. But instead of me knocking on doors, I think the best way that and maybe y'all can go down there and drop down to Georgia, right? Since y'all got peeps and families down there. But I think intermediary thing that we could potentially do is maybe get a video together. And maybe it's, similar to the videos that we said, Vote 2020. Maybe it's a video that is similar that says, hey, listen, vote for, we'll come up with the messaging, but something very similar where we can push out and get people in Georgia to go out and really vote. And so I'm going to challenge all of you that are watching us to figure out how can you push out some form of communication to those that you may know in Georgia or don't even know in Georgia so that we can really spread the word of how important it is to vote, because it is still a part, although Biden has been projected winner, you have to understand that without the Senate, control of the Senate, then it's going to be very difficult for him to pass anything that he really wants to do when he's got the devil, Mitch McConnell. That's right. And I'm going to call him the devil again. Mitch McConnell blocking. Yeah, Donald.
I have a question for those that I'm looking into the camera, and during the debate, Biden looked into the camera. He wanted to talk to the American people. Well, I'm going to look into the camera, and I'm going to challenge some of you folks out there. How do you break away from the cultist known as Donald Trump? Why are you continually drinking the red lemonade like from the Guyana Jones tragedy? And if you don't know what the Guyana Jones tragedy, just look it up. Stop voting against your own interests. Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act is the same thing, West Virginia. It's the same thing. So let's get out and try to see if we can tear down this cultist known as Trumpism one brick at a time. And it's going to come from us, not the politicians. It's got to come from us.
Baller, you want to, Donald, I actually like that. I think that's a great segue for us to try to really close this out. Baller, you want to give any last final words to those in Georgia? This is for Georgia specifically.
I'm going to ask all Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Reach out to that neighbor, to that cousin. Our lives are still hanging in the balance to get to the next level, get to where we need to be as a country. I'm not going to say it's going to be tomorrow, next month, or even next year, but we have to make the steps as a people. And at this point in time, Philadelphia did their part. Now we ask that you do your part and get these people in these seats. So don't sit back thinking everything is done. The job is complete. It is not. So we need y'all people to get out there and push this.
Appreciate that. Also,
you know what? I'm going to take a different angle from this, and I'm going to reach out to my sister, especially my sister, my nephews. Listen, knock on some doors, drive some people, do some volunteer work, but just get into their head that they need to vote. This goes out to my big sister. This goes out to my nephews. Y'all are Georgia residents. Even though you're Philadelphia born and bred and you live there, you know what we need to do. We did our end. Now it's time for you to do yours. So go out there, knock on some doors, make some phone calls, send out some emails. You guys got the contacts. I'm going to put out a personal plea to my family. Handle your business out there.
Word. Doc, Big Doc, what do you say to the Georgia?
I got some family out there in Georgia too. I'm going to link out to them and tell them also, just knock on some doors and pass the word on, let's vote and get a better Senate inside them seats. so it could be a better world of the day. So I can elaborate on Carl. I mean, on the old soul, and I got some family out there as well. So I'll knock on some doors and I'll ring some phones and talk to them and ask them to do the same thing.
Word. So listen, everybody. You heard from the brothers, and I'll say this. This is really to you, the Georgians out there. Half the job is done. We got Biden in office. He's projected winner January 20th. He will be sworn in, irrespective. He will be sworn in. However, without you, this is going to be very difficult for Biden to pass anything he wants to pass if we don't get the Senate. And so it's up to you to get out there and vote. Vote as if your life depends on it. Vote as if your soul depends on it. Similar to how you went out and put the votes out for President Biden, we need you to do the same for the Democratic ticket for the Senate race. So absentee ballots are going out on November 18th. Deadline to register is December 7th. Early in-person voting begins December 14th, and actual election runoff is on January 5th. That's 15 days before Biden is sworn in. We need you to get out there and vote as if your life depends on it. You grab a van, you take everybody out, and you vote. It is imperative that you do so. And we're going to do our part by continuing to push out messaging to those of you in Georgia to really try to push and harness the power of you, the individual. Back to Donald's original point, we need to stop voting cultish ways and vote for the American people. So I want to thank you all for watching us and checking us out. Really appreciate you checking this video out. If you like it, do subscribe. We're at 66 subscribers. We're trying to get to 100. That's our first goal, 100. And so I need 34 people to subscribe to this channel. And so I ask of you, please subscribe if you like what you're hearing. If you want to hear more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I am here with the brothers, and we are out. Fellas, listen, peace to y'all. Love y'all very much. We
Love
out.
you too, brother.